It was a night unlike any other in Lagos. The city's usual symphony of horns, chatter, and music seemed distant, almost muted. A thick tension hung in the air, as if Lagos itself knew that a storm was brewing. Inside a small, modest apartment, Adebisi stared out the window, her eyes locked on the flickering neon lights that dotted the streets below. She was lost in thought, her mind racing with worries and secrets she had tried so hard to bury. Adebisi was in her early 30s, her warm brown skin glowing in the dim light. Normally her beauty would turn heads, but tonight it was her emptiness that was striking. She was 8 months pregnant, and while most would expect her to be filled with joy, Adebisi felt nothing but dread. Just then, the door creaked open, and Yetunde walked in without waiting for an answer. Yetunde was Adebisi's closest friend, and also the sister of Obina, Adebisi's partner. Yetunde was practical, the kind of person who always knew what to do in a crisis. She carried a bag of groceries, her eyes scanning Adebisi's face with concern. Bisi, you should be resting, Yetunde said as she set the bag on the table. You're always standing by that window. What are you looking for? I'm fine, Yetunde, Adebisi replied, her voice distant. You don't have to keep checking on me. Really, I'm fine. Yetunde wasn't convinced. She placed a comforting hand on Adebisi's shoulder. This is Obina's first baby, and if anything happens while I'm not here, he'll have my heed. You know how he gets. Adebisi tried to smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. Obina's just a big teddy bear. He won't do anything. You're worrying too much. Yetunde frowned, but decided not to argue. She knew Adebisi was stubborn, especially when something was on her mind. All right, but I'm not leaving you alone tonight. At least let me make you some tea or help you get comfortable. I told you I'm fine, Adebisi said, her patience thinning. I don't even drink tea, Yetunde. Just please. Yetunde sighed and sank into the couch. Okay, okay, but if you need anything, I'm right here. You're about to have the baby. You need to take care of yourself. Adebisi's gaze drifted back to the window. She tried to block out Yetunde's words, but the anxiety she felt was only growing stronger. She could feel it, a storm brewing inside her, ready to burst. And then, without warning, she felt a sharp pain shoot through her belly. She gasped, her hand flying to her stomach. Oh no, not now, she whispered, her voice trembling. What's wrong? Are you okay? Yetunde jumped up, her eyes wide with fear as she rushed to Adebisi's side. I think, I think I'm in labor, Adebisi managed to say between ragged breaths. It's too early. The baby, it's too soon. Okay, don't panic, Yetunde said, though her own hands were shaking. Let me call the ambulance. No, Adebisi cut her off, her voice sharp. No ambulance. Just drive me. Please, Yetunde, I can't handle any more questions. Yetunde hesitated, but the fear in Adebisi's eyes made her nod. All right, let's get you to the car. We're leaving now. The drive to the hospital was a blur of red lights and tight corners. Yetunde gripped the steering wheel, her eyes darting between the road and Adebisi, who was pale and biting her lip to keep from crying out. The city lights whizzed past, and every minute felt like an eternity. You're doing great, Busy, Yetunde said, though her voice was unsteady. Just keep breathing. We're almost there. Adebisi nodded, but her mind was somewhere else. She wasn't just fighting the pain of labor, she was wrestling with a secret that was tearing her apart. From the moment she had discovered she was pregnant, a nagging doubt had haunted her. She had been seeing someone else before Obina, a reckless mistake that she had convinced herself would never come back to haunt her. But as the weeks turned into months, her fears only grew. She tried to push them away, to tell herself that it didn't matter, that she could make it work, but the doubt wouldn't leave her alone. Finally, she did the unthinkable. She took a DNA test behind Obina's back. When the results came in, confirming her worst fears, she burned the evidence, hoping to erase the truth. But the guilt was relentless, and as the baby's due date approached, Adebisi felt like she was running out of time. She wanted to tell Obina to come clean, but the fear of losing him kept her silent. And now, with the baby on the way, the walls were closing in. At the hospital, Yetunde stayed by Adebisi's side, holding her hand through every contraction. When little Chijoke finally arrived, Adebisi looked at her newborn son and felt a crushing sense of guilt. She should have felt joy, but all she could see was the lie she had created. When Obina arrived, his face lit up with joy as he held his son for the first time. "Look at him busy," he said, his voice filled with pride. "He's perfect, just like you." Adebisi forced a smile, but her heart was breaking. She watched Obina gaze at Chijoke with so much love, and it tore her apart. She had never seen him so happy, and yet every smile he gave made her guilt grow heavier. She wanted to tell him the truth, but every time she opened her mouth, the words wouldn't come. The days after Chijoke's birth were a blur of sleepless nights and hushed conversations. Adebisi tried to adjust to her new role as a mother, but the secret she carried weighed her down. Obina was the perfect father, doting and patient, and Yetunde was always there, ready to lend a hand. But no matter how hard she tried, Adebisi couldn't shake the feeling that everything she had built was a lie. She knew she had to tell Obina the truth, but every time she looked at him, the fear of losing him kept her silent. One quiet afternoon, as Adebisi was putting Chijoke down for a nap, Obina was tidying up the apartment when he stumbled upon something buried deep in a drawer, something Adebisi had hoped was long gone. It was the DNA test, the one she thought she had destroyed. His brow furrowed as he unfolded the paper, his eyes scanning the results. The air in the room seemed to thicken as he turned to Adebisi and the paper shaking in his hand. "Bisi, what is this?" Obina asked, his voice low and controlled, but Adebisi could hear the hurt in it. Adebisi's heart stopped. She had no words, no explanation that could undo the damage. She reached for the paper, but Obina pulled it away, his eyes narrowing. "This is a DNA test, BC. Our names are on it. Why would there be a DNA test if—" His voice broke off, and the realization hit him like a tidal wave. "BC, what did you do?" Adebisi felt her knees buckle. She sank to the floor, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I'm so sorry, Obina. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I thought if I just pretended—" Obina's face contorted with pain and betrayal. "You lied to me," he said, his voice rising. "You let me believe that this was my son." Adebisi sobbed, reaching out for him. I know, and I'm sorry. I thought it wouldn't matter. I thought we could just be happy. I love you, Obina. Please don't hate me." Obina stepped back, his face hardening. "You let me love a child that isn't mine," he said, his voice breaking. "You lied every single day, and now you expect me to just forgive you." I was scared, Adebisi cried. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't want to lose everything we had. Obina shook his head, his eyes cold. I need time, he said finally. Right now, I can't even look at you. He walked out, leaving Adebisi alone on the floor. She had lost him, the one person she thought she could never live without. As she sat there, cradling her son, she realized that the truth, no matter how painful, would have been easier to bear than the weight of her lies. Adebisi's story is a powerful reminder that the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living a lie. Her journey is far from over, and the choices she makes will continue to shape her life and the lives of those around her. As we follow her through the twists and turns of her story, we are reminded that honesty is not just about telling the truth, it's about being true to yourself and those you love. Thank you for joining us on this journey through love, betrayal, and redemption. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tales that touch the heart and stir the soul. Remember, in the end, it's the truth that sets us free. Until next time, let love and honesty guide your steps. Good day.